Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today's topic is going to be how to be that reader. So that reader came from the that girl aesthetic, if you know that internet aesthetic, where people are usually at the top of their game. They have a healthy smoothie every morning. They go to the gym, they wake up early, they sleep early. They're achievers at school or at work, and being that reader is that successful reader. So the first tip I have is actually to start small. You could start by reading short books, and you can start by reading these little penguin classics. If you know them, they can be purchased at Fully Booked, any Fully Booked branch, and they're sort of affordable. Like, these are 120 pesos. So yeah. My second tip is to have a rival. Having a rival really helps. Do you know Anne of Green Gables? Anne Shirley had this rival in academics, and his name is Gilbert Blythe. And Gilbert is also sort of her romantic partner, but they're rivals. So it motivates you to become better and to start reading faster, reading more. You can have little reading competitions with your reading partner, your reading rival. My third tip is to join a silent book club. Silent book clubs are basically book clubs wherein you read together. Reading parties are actually a thing right now. I saw a video about it somewhere. And reading parties are where you basically go somewhere like a cafe or anywhere, and then you guys read together silently, and that's sort of like having an accountability partner, and that's very helpful. Also, I forgot to mention, there's Silent Book Club Manila, and there are silent book clubs all over the world, and it's really magical. It's a really nice experience to read with them. Silent Book Club Manila is currently on Discord, but I think they have face-to-face sessions as well. But the Discord is basically where people just read often. There are also monthly readings where you can actually read for like an hour or two and then share what you read. And it's really fun. So I'll plug in Silent Book Club Manila. My next tip is to join a book club. And there are so many book clubs in the Philippines now. Some of them stopped after the pandemic, but there is still a lot. I suggest you can find book clubs at Book Buddies PH. That is one of the most popular Facebook groups here in the Philippines, and it promotes book clubs. There are different genres, there are different subgenres. There's the classics cult, if I recall correctly. There's also the self-development readers club, and there are so many. And I'll plug in mine too, which is Blankets and Beans. And Blankets and Beans is basically a cozy reading book club wherein you aren't too pressured to read too much, because books are about numbers nowadays, and people are so competitive in trying to read X amount of books. And Althea mentioned this in her video as well, so I'm plugging that in too. And it's too competitive. I think people should enjoy reading for the sake of reading. And it's fun, because Blankets and Beans exactly does that. We do our reading discussions every 2 months, so it isn't too stressful, it isn't too pressuring, and yeah. So I just mentioned about how I started a book club called Blankets and Beans about cozy reads. I think the next thing you can do is start your own book club, because you'll be accountable for that book club. And to become that reader, you're gonna be responsible for something big, and that's just something that's gonna push you harder to read a lot, to read like you enjoy it, to read with other people and enjoy it, because I think that having a book club actually makes your reading more meaningful. Discussing it with other people makes it more meaningful as well. So as a student, what I do to read more is actually just to have deadlines, because As a literature major, we have a lot of deadlines for the books we have to read, so I think you can set deadlines for your books as well, and that would be also really helpful. My next tip is to actually immerse yourself in BookTube, BookTok, and Bookstagram. Look for inspiration, look for motivation, create a vision board if you want as well to become a great reader. And it's great to just watch readathons as well. 24-hour readathons, 12-hour readathons where people just take days to actually complete the 24 hours. It's nice to watch content like that. And I think they usually pop up in BookTok and BookTube, but I mostly watch the BookTube ones personally. Next is to romanticize aesthetics because, well, people are attracted to things that are beautiful, and things that are beautiful are actually very subjective, but whatever you find beautiful, go for it. Whether that be annotating your books with all those colorful book flags and colorful highlighters. I am not, by the way, convincing you or like telling you that you have to spend so much on this, but it's nice to deal with what you have. You can even draw on the margins of your books with a pencil, and that would be nice as well. And you can go to a cafe like maybe Starbucks or something if you have the budget for it, and read there once in a while. Romanticize your life. Or you can just create your own videos and make them aesthetic as well, just like what I'm trying to do. But I'm not really in it for the aesthetics. I'm in it for the content, the quality of the content. Next is to go window shopping. You could just head to a fully booked, the National Bookstore, and look at the books you want in the future. Take a picture of them so that when you want them, you can buy them right away, or like find an ebook copy. Like there's Libby. It's an app wherein you can borrow books digitally for free, and that app is very helpful actually. You can actually go book shopping, but I recommend for you to book shop when you actually have the book you like to read, so as to prevent over hoarding or being broke because of all the hoarding. The next one is to make your own reading challenge. So BookTube is full of challenges, reading challenges like I read blank books of thriller in 7 days. So you can do that, like genre in blank amount of days, or maybe a 30-day short story reading challenge where you read a short story every single day. I think starting small, like I mentioned earlier, is great. Or you can do 30 days, one book a day, if that's possible. Like just choose one with a little bit of pages, like maybe a novella, or one book a week, 52 books in a year. That's a great challenge too. The next tip I have is actually to post what you read on social media or Goodreads, or you can just review it on the story graph as well. But what I do is before, I used to post on my stories. Now I'm on a social media ban, but I used to post on my Instagram stories the books I read and a short review on like my story. Like first I post the book and then I post another picture of the book with my little review, and I would add that to my highlights as well, and hoping it would help other people. So you're not just helping yourself, but you're also helping other people. Or you can make an album on Facebook saying like my 2024 reads, and then you can add your little reviews and pictures of the books you read. If you don't have nice pictures of it, maybe you can get pictures on Pinterest or Bookstagram, as long as you cite your sources, guys. The next tip is to find more inspiration by watching or consuming content like shows or TV shows, movies that actually inspire you to read. And I highly recommend Gilmore Girls. Everyone has been trying to copy that aesthetic nowadays. It's about a girl who is in high school or college. You can put it in whatever. And she studies really hard, and it's about the relationship of her and her mother together, and they both make lots of book references, so that's why it's so nice to watch. Like literally, Rory Gilmore is always carrying a book around with her, and you can get reading tips from her too because of how she reads and everything. Last tip I have is to actually make a project for yourself. And that project could be anything, like, for example, learning mythology. So you can do mythology related books like Philippine mythology related books. And there's also probably like high fantasy learning project. So you need to learn about high fantasy or fantasy in general with X amount of days, just like the reading challenge, but you can turn it into a project which is more long term, and that's very helpful into becoming that reader. So thank you guys for watching my video. See you in the next.